Energy. Hello, welcome to the Basketball Addicts
Yes,
podcast, the one
sir.
podcast in the world that answers the only question that ever truly matters in the world. Look, we're so addicted to basketball. It's 7:51 in the morning, and we're talking about this. How you outside the finals? You can't even get in. How can you hate from outside the finals? You can't even get
True.
in, and that's exactly where we're going today because we have some awards today to give out.
Yes.
We have some MVPs, we have some DPOYs, we have some rookies of the year, we have some first team, second team, third team. All defensive, possibly. We got some teams that are moving toward the playoffs. We're just gonna let it
hmm
go naturally wherever it goes. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Jason, what you got to say today, man? What you got to say?
Man, I think the most obvious and glaring question, because it's not like one person is just walking away with MVP. I feel like the MVP is the natural discussion. I feel like there's so many guys this year that could have a case. I mean, Embiid's leading the league in scoring. He's played 63 games. The 76ers are the third seed. We got Jokic and his extremely efficient nature. He's played around 67 games. They're the first seed in the West. And we got Giannis, who's starting to get a little bit more public push from the public end. He's also averaging a ton of points per game, having high rebound numbers, 11.8, which is ridiculous. 5.6 assists, plays 61 games, number one overall seed in the NBA, number one overall seeded team in the NBA. He's got a lot of things going for him. And the outsider is Luka. Even though they missed the playoffs, Luka's having a phenomenal season. Second leading scorer, the leading assist guy. So, Chris, who do you think you're leaning? Who do you want to give the MVP to, and why?
Well, first let's talk about what the list you just gave, right?
Uh
So
huh.
that's the best thing to do here. So, far as Luca winning MVP, I think that's completely out of the question.
Okay.
I think even though he was doing really well before Kyrie, you know what I mean. They were winning. He had a case then, but the last time
Yeah.
somebody in the eighth seed won MVP was Russ,
Yeah.
and that was his triple double
Triple
season,
double year. Yeah.
triple double year. Giannis has a good case because of the winning, right? He can
Yes.
say that he's the most valuable the most valuable piece of his team.
True.
So it's possible for Giannis. But the whole argument between Embiid and Jokic, that goes deeper than the MVP race. When you do that argument, you have to
It's
really break
tough.
down who do you think is better, and that is the question I have for you. You have to pick MVP between those two because they're so close neck and neck. Because one is
Yes.
really dominant, one scores a lot, the other one is really just efficient, and he doesn't score a lot. And we haven't really seen that battle. And Embiid said he has nothing to prove because he's beat him before, he's dominated him before. It's like you have to really break down who do you think is better, and it's hard to do that. So it's hard. When it comes to choosing between
hmm
Embiid and Jokic, I think that might be a little harder of a discussion to have because I'm leaning more toward Embiid.
Oh,
Surprisingly,
really? Okay. Yeah. Why?
surprisingly, surprisingly, I'm leaning more toward Embiid because of he's leading the league in scoring. You can see that without Embiid, they can't function. You know what I mean? But then on the other end of the spectrum with Jokic, he can drop 30, but he's gonna have 10 and 11. He's gonna
Yeah.
have 25, 6 and 7. He's gonna be more efficient. He's gonna be more of the all around player.
Yes.
But and Jokic is also an integral part of the Nuggets offense. They can't win without him. But
Yeah.
it's really hard because you have to really break down who do
hmm
you think is better.
Yeah.
I think Embiid's better.
Okay.
I'm going with scoring over efficiency, even though I love efficiency because I love how efficient the game of basketball, how easy it comes for Jokic and makes the Nuggets offense. Let's think about this for a second. Look at the Nuggets team. Who do they truly have?
It's him, Jamal Murray, and MPJ, and decent bench guys,
A decent bench guys,
decent role players, I guess.
decent role players, right? So
Yeah.
you could truly, if you wanted to, make the argument for Jokic because
hmm
if you take Jokic off that team, Jamal Murray, he plays great, but he's not going to be able to lead that team
Yeah.
because the offense isn't centered around him. They would have to try to put somebody else in Jokic's spot, and they can't do what Jokic do.
Yeah.
If he went down, if he was hurt, they would not go anywhere.
Yeah.
But Jokic can lead a team without Jamal Murray.
Sure.
But you can say the same thing about the Sixers though, because Tyrese Maxey has become an integral part of that
Mm-hmm.
offense.
Yeah.
James Harden has become somewhat of an integral part of that offense.
True.
But if James Harden and Tyrese Maxey went down, Joel Embiid could still lead that team.
Yeah. Very true. They're very close.
So it's very close. You see what I'm saying? It's a very
Yeah.
hard discussion to make because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard because they're similarly built, but one just scores more, and the other one is just more efficient.
Yeah. That's facts.
Dominance versus skill is how I
Yeah.
break it down.
Yeah.
Dominance versus skill.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. Some people who listen to this podcast may not agree with me. Embiid's the most dominant. Jokic is the most skilled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True.
Which one do you hold above the other is where it comes down to the conversation. It's like, are you more of a power guy? Do you like Shaq more, or do you like more finesse?
Yeah.
So do you like those guys who can up fake, really slow and control the flow of the offense? Players like that don't really normally get to shine because they
Mm-hmm.
don't see it. They don't see it. The media never sees it. Even though they've gotten better with seeing it, I guess with Jokic because Jokic has won it already.
Yeah.
But normally the media doesn't really see it. If it doesn't, I mean, if it, they'd be like, he's taking these shots. It's not really exciting, and we won't really look at that because there's not too many
Yeah.
basketball heads in the media. I was very surprised that B didn't win it last year.
Yeah. We both
That
thought
surprised
Embiid.
me.
We both thought Embiid should have won it last year. We were both on that
So
train.
so we do understand that the NBA is story driven
True.
in most aspects.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're throwing it at Jokic gives me more idea or more reason to believe that Embiid's going to win it this year.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the three guys, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, are all MVP worthy. When it comes down to Jokic and Embiid specifically, I think, I love the way Embiid plays. I feel like this is the most stylistically fit because how well his shot selection is so advanced right now
I
in the
like that
sense
word though,
of
stylistically.
stylist the way he's playing basketball right now
Yeah,
perfectly fits his talent. You know what I mean? Like sometimes he would get too caught up in the 3-point shot. Like and that may not apply to every big, but when you're Joel Embiid gifted with the body and the
yeah,
force, you know what I mean? He should be playing with force and pushing people around and making everybody around him his bitch. So he does that in
please,
Philly. He does it in
yeah,
Philly. If I had to choose between Jokic and Embiid, though, I would choose Jokic for the MVP. I really think his passing is so ridiculously high tier that I think it would clear him. But that wouldn't be my MVP pick. He would be second. My MVP is Giannis. It's been Giannis
oh,
and it's staying Giannis. Let's okay, if we want to give it to somebody just because if people want to give it to Jokic for the narrative of let's have some historical moment here. Okay, let's give it to Giannis for a third time. Okay? And this is Giannis's best season. He's averaging 31, 32 a game, 12 boards, 5.6 assists, number 1 overall team in the NBA, number 1 overall seed in the NBA, better record than the Nuggets. Actually, the 76ers and the Nuggets have a similar record. So we're like 5 games out. And on top
mm-hmm.
of that, the thing that nobody's talking about is Chris Middleton only played 31 games this year. How is that not part of the argument? He carried that team, the number 1 overall, number 1 record, number 1 best team in the NBA, to the number 1 overall seed with Chris Middleton playing 31 games, people. Look, that's insane. That's insane. They look, because Giannis, what he's doing this year is ridiculous. He's starting to get a little bit more buzz for the MVP. For a while here, I've been consistent. Giannis is the best player in the NBA. He's the best player. He's the most valuable player to his team this year. And because of the fact that Chris Middleton only played 31 games, should add into the wow factor of like, we cannot not give it to him because of X. And X is Chris
Yeah.
Middleton's only played 31 games. So Giannis deserves MVP. That's what I
Look,
expect.
I'm gonna let you finish, but the NBA is very story driven,
Yeah.
and people get tired. It's too easy to pick Giannis.
Ah,
It's too easy to pick Giannis.
true.
Just like during the Jordan years, it was too easy to pick Jordan. It was
Yeah.
like we gotta switch it up. It's just like during the LeBron years, it was too easy to pick LeBron. We had to switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
During the Shaq years, too easy to pick Shaq. We had to switch it up.
Yeah.
There might look last year, Jokic ran away with it.
Yeah.
It was between Jokic and Embiid neck and neck. I
Yeah.
think Giannis is going to get the LeBron, Jordan, Shaq treatment this year. It's going to be a clear
Yeah.
his, but it's going to go to somebody else.
Yeah. True. I could see that. Yeah, I definitely feel like, as long as it goes to one of those three, it's not a bad. Whoever gets it between those three, I'm not going to be upset at it. All of them have had phenomenal years. I mean, ridiculously historically relevant. What Embiid's doing, I mean, it's so ridiculously rare for a center to get score more than 28 a game, right? Like 20 in
Yeah,
the 80s and the 90s and the 70s, 28 a game was really great. Like Embiid's averaging 33 people. Like it's
yeah,
ridiculous what he's doing. He's a good defender. I don't think he's a DPOY guy, but he's a pretty good defender. And Jokic is extremely efficient, such a world class passer, and Giannis is doing Giannis things every fucking year. So all of these three guys been are MVP level guys, and you know I wouldn't be angry at it no matter who gets it. It'll be fun to see. I think the voting's really close. I think Embiid right now is like number one when they had preliminary votes, and Jokic was like
I'm
two
down with
votes
that.
off or something like that. It was like so ridiculously close. So and Giannis was third. And yeah, I would take Giannis. I think he's the true MVP this year. But yeah, I think the MVP discussion is gonna be something that's gonna be fun all year. Yeah.
Secondary, I will take Joel Embiid because have you seen him play? He just looks
Psh,
unstoppable when he was on the court.
yes.
Fadeaways, he's down low. It's like he really can be like nobody can guard me because I don't think anybody
Yeah.
can.
Top five, top seven center of all time. Him and Jokic
Yeah,
are in that class, right?
but go ahead.
Like quickly,
Mm-hmm.
Wilt would be my one.
Uh huh.
2 would be Kareem. 3 would be Shaq. 4 would be Hakeem, and then 5 would be David Robinson, and then I would go Jokic 6 and beat 7. I wouldn't even think about Dwight Howard. I would put them both above Moses Malone too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like these guys are ridiculous. These are two historically relevant centers, and we just got to sit back and appreciate these guys.
But we have a lot of old heads in media too.
Yeah,
So the fact that Embiid didn't play against Jokic, he set out that game and he was like, "You gotta play this game. You gotta play this game. You
yeah,
gotta play this game." Might have just handed the MVP to Jokic, honestly.
yeah, yeah. The
I'll,
storylines are crazy.
yeah, it's like you
Storylines
gotta
are
play this
wild,
game. Do we have
Chris.
something to talk about? And he was like, "No, I'm not playing the game. I don't have anything to. I don't have to
No.
play this game."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you know what? I think it's a good transition here from the MVP because I feel like we're done with that conversation. Um, I feel like this is something that should take about a minute. Jaron
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Jr. If they vote Brooke Lopez DPOY, like he's been number one DPOY guy all year, I'm gonna literally fucking throw something on the podcast. Like Brooke Lopez, like all these fucking stat people, all these fucking like, dude, watch the goddamn games. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, is he a good defender at the rim? Sure. Is it
Yeah.
impressive what he does for his age? Sure. Does the whole system for the past 5 years been built around forcing people to the rim, which inflates these guys' stats? Sure. He's a poor man's Rudy Gobert. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Jared
Yeah.
Jackson Jr. could do that in that system. He could defend the rim. He could defend somebody on the perimeter, man to man. He could switch on a guard. He can guard 1 through 5. He can guard the post. He's strong enough to not get bullied around, and he can guard quicker players. Like Jaron
Yeah.
Jackson Jr. is so ridiculously versatile, is so ridiculously everywhere on defense. Draymond Green's kind of lost a step, even though the mind's still there, and I still think he's a great defender still. But athletically, he's lost
Yeah.
just a little bit, so he can't be DPOY for me anymore. But Jaren Jackson Jr., dude's fucking everywhere. Dude's a wrecking ball defensively. Like, he's special. The only DPOY level guy in the NBA this year is Jaren Jackson Jr., and there's nobody close. Nobody else is having a year like that. And this should be a landslide victory for Jaren Jackson Jr. I will throw a chair if I see Brook Lopez with a DPOY on his fucking nameplate. Ridiculous. He'll be the worst DPOY ever. Ever. EVER.
Ever.
He'll make Marc Gasol look like the fucking next coming of Dikembe Mutombo. Sign off. Marc Gasol didn't win DPOY, people.
Okay.
Dear God.
NBA, please vote Brooke Lopez DPOY because I want to see this happen. Please do it. Please do it. I really feel like he's gonna stay at the bottom of his chair, throw his headset, and throw the chair. And I want to see it happen. I would love to see that happen. Can we get that, please? Just for entertainment. I would even edit the video just so we can have all of that footage. Just do it. Just do it.
Oh my goodness.
Just do it.
Oh
Just do
Jesus.
it. But yeah, I agree with you. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the DPOY this year. It's like without a
Yes.
doubt, it's nobody better.
Yeah.
He's the only DPOY candidate this year.
Yes.
Because these are like inflated stats for everybody. I mean, for Brooke Lopez, who's like, I guess he's running away with it or he's close to it. I don't know
Yeah,
if
he's
they're going to
been
give it
number
to him or
one for
not.
a while on like the DPOY power rankings.
That's because of the team he's on, their defensive strategy, the way they're winning. It's a
Yeah.
lot of things going into it. The number of blocks, steals, and rebounds they have per game.
Yeah.
All of those defensive stats is plus minus. Things like that is what's adding to that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's without a doubt Jaren Jackson Jr. But I digress.
Yeah. I definitely agree, man. And I think that I feel like another obvious one is Rookie of the Year, Paulo Banchero. I mean, the guy's averaging 20 as a rookie. A lot of people
Yeah,
are having good second halves, but this is like a non-conversation. Like,
yeah. He's been rookie of the year since his first game. So
yes, yeah, it's
that's like a
been
no
written in
brainer.
stone. Yeah,
That's a no brainer.
yeah.
That's what I was like. What other rookies are there? I was like, I don't really
Jalen
know
Williams
about.
from OKC is having a nice second half of the season. There'll be some talk there
Yeah.
with him. And Brandon Dick Matherin's had a good year throughout the year
Oh
too.
yeah. Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah,
I think he was close at first, but I don't think so anymore.
yeah.
But
It's
it's been
Paulo.
Paolo Mancaro
It's
by a
Paulo.
mile.
It's Paulo. I don't care if he played 3 games this year. It's Paulo Banchero. It's pretty
Yeah.
easy. All right. So next award, Chris, we got Sixth Man of the Year. The people that are in talk for this award is Malcolm Brogdon, Emmanuel Quickly, Bobby Portis, Malik Monk, Austin Reeves. Who are you thinking?
AR-15.
Really? Get the fuck out.
No, it's just
Wait,
my
really?
Lakers.
Really, Chris?
That's just
You're
that's just
going
my
Austin
Lakers
Reeves.
thing. Because it's a Lakers. He's a Lakers guy. That's the only reason. It's the only reason. You mean to listen one more time? You said I just say it's AR-15 because I was only listening to that name because I was gonna say it regardless. Uh,
Okay.
who else
Okay.
is on there? Who else is? What's the list again?
Malcolm Brogdon, Bobby Portis, Emmanuel Quickly, Malik Monk.
It's a good quick one. It's a good one because Emmanuel Quickly, man. I mean, that's another guy. Have you seen him play? Like
Yeah.
crazy off the bench.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. He's been a pretty good
Definitely
shot
a
creator
scorer.
for a minute.
Yeah, definitely crazy off the bench. Definitely a spark. I would honestly, I'm leaning more in the realm of like Bobby Portis, um,
Mm.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Okay.
Those are really like my six man in the year, and honestly, it falls more to. I would go Bobby Portis. I would go Bobby Portis as six man of the year.
Yeah, it's a
He needs to
pretty
win one.
popular pick.
Yeah. What about you?
I would take Malcolm Brogdon. I think Malcolm Brogdon's a starting level player off the bench. Of course, he's going to be on this list, right? Shoots the three
Yeah.
ridiculously efficiently, defends so well, 6'5", can handle. There's a we know what Malcolm Brogdon brings. You know what I mean? He's the best player on the list. Even though Bobby Portis really does his role at an extremely high level. You know what I mean? A star in his
Yes.
role type of guy.
Yeah.
He's really a great spark off the bench for them.
Without a doubt.
I feel like this will be a really good conversation, Chris.
Okay.
Coach of the year. Is it JB Bickerstaff or is it Mike
That's my
Brown?
first. Ooh.
See? Like it's going to be a tough conversation because those are the only two guys. If people don't know,
Well,
JB Bickerstaff is the Cavs coach and Mike Brown is the Sacramento Kings coach.
they both clinched, didn't they?
Yeah, and they're both like the Cavs have the 4 seed in the East. The Kings right now are staving off the Suns from having. They still have the 3 seed in the West.
Mmm.
Yeah, it's
They just
tough.
both clinched. They both clinched.
Both great teams
And
this year.
yeah, great teams this year. Both have the talent, the young talent too.
Yeah, both very deserving coach of the year guys. Either one of these guys wins it. It's a good choice. Which one though, Chris? Okay.
My pick is JB Bickerstaff,
Ooh,
but
really? Explain.
I think the NBA will take Mike Brown
Okay. Why are you choosing
because of the
JB?
record. I'm a Cleveland guy, so
Okay.
I think that what he's been able to do with that young talent, like turn,
Yes.
like this isn't his first year with them, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's his first year with like everybody there. But he was to help Garland develop, get Mobley started, Isaac Okoro, so those
Mm-hmm.
really young pieces that they were starting to draft in. You know what I mean? That they were able to like make them a cohesive unit because they did well last year. They just
Yes.
took that to the next level this year.
Defensively is where they really took a
Defense
huge jump. Yeah. Great
defensively, and
coaching.
then he even created like some kind of. It's a different atmosphere in that
True.
Cleveland locker room now
I
because
feel
now they're
that.
like they have like a chip on their shoulder or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're way more scrappy now. They're like
Yes.
I don't even know what happened there,
Yeah.
but it's just been a whole mindset switch,
Yeah.
especially with that coach and Donovan Mitchell coming and then being able to integrate Donovan Mitchell seamlessly into the offense. Chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Now on
That's
the other
true.
end of the spectrum, right?
Uh-huh.
On
Yeah.
the other end of the spectrum, you have Mike Brown. And it's like, yeah, you have young guys, but these guys have been playing together for a minute. You kind of just came into and just revamped the system a little bit. It is like, but it's worked very well. It's worked
Yeah.
very well in Sacramento. And it's just like, I don't know. Me as a Cleveland guy, I'm always going to go with the Cleveland team. So that's just without a
Okay.
doubt. Mike Brown's an old Cleveland coach. I can see him winning it because of seeding and because what if he's
Yeah.
able to do because this is their first playoff berth since 2006,
Yeah.
their first clinch playoff berth since 2006. So like I can see it because of the
Mm-hmm.
story that goes along with it, and because of their seeding and how well they've been playing from start to finish. Like really, they started off red hot and ended red. Like it's
Yeah.
like this like been no really slow down, but then Cleveland has had a lot of injuries, so they could have been like a 3 seed really, if but the injuries really held them back
Mm-hmm.
because they're such a team and like it's not too many teams. There's such a team that without just one player, they don't even look the same. They don't even look like the same team anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know. It's I'm leaning toward Cleveland, but I'm sure that you have Mike Brown.
Yeah. I'm gonna choose Mike Brown for Coach of Year,
I'm biased.
because because of the complete 180. I mean, culture wise, first things first. Let's get that out of the way. Like he had to completely revamp the culture. Let's be honest here. They've had a losing culture since Mike Bibby and Chris Webber walking those hallways.
Yeah.
Um, and on top of all of that, the system perfectly fits the talent, right? Like he came from the Golden State Warriors for like 5 or 6 years, sitting on the bench, being the defensive coach for them. And he brought that movement offense and used Domantas Sabonis perfectly, right? Domantas Sabonis has never been used better than he's being used
Mm-hmm.
right now, right? And the pairing of
True.
him and De'Aaron Fox and the shooting that they have on the floor with Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray and Kevin Herter and just everything's been a masterclass of wow and so impressive, and everybody's a star in their roles. And I really feel like, and the funny thing is they've been running that Warrior system for the past 4 years with Luke Walton. Luke Walton has been that coach there before Mike Brown. So it's like, okay, Mike Brown must really know what he's talking about way more than Luke
Yeah,
Walton in the same exact
without a doubt.
system. And
Yeah.
it's a huge jump. It's so weird because usually when there's a huge jump in between coaches, like, oh, we changed the system around to fit the players better. The system they were running didn't really work. Well, it's the same fucking system. I
Yeah.
don't know what the disconnect is. Maybe Luke Walton's just not that guy. Um,
He didn't connect to the players.
yeah, and on top of all of that, man, I would like to say that this is a great sign for a changing of the way to people will view coaching hirings,
Hmm.
because for so long it's been okay, we got to fill this position. Is there a guy who was successful in the NBA in the past that looks really good right now? The Quinn Snyders of the world, like, okay, let's go pay
Yeah.
him everything. Oh, after that one guy is gone, now the job market is the unproven guy that does well in interviews, right?
Hmm.
Mike Brown was one coach of the year for Cleveland, right? Led Cleveland to all those good teams. But everybody thought that Cleveland was terribly coached because of how poorly the offense was run. And then he goes to the
Hmm.
Lakers and he's with Kobe, and he gets fired within the first 7 games because Kobe hated Mike Brown, right? And
Yeah.
then, right, like, so he had this stigma for years of negative, not a good coach. We've seen him in the NBA. We know who he is. He's not going to grow and change, right? Well, fuck that. He grew and changed. Like, he's a human being,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it's time to start. Okay, we fired XYZ person 10 years ago. Yeah, their view on basketball probably has changed since then. You hired them then because you thought they had great talent. Okay, why don't we try this again, right? Like a guy like Mark Jackson, like maybe he's been watching those fucking Warrior teams and how much different Steve Kerr was coaching than what he did with the Warriors. You think he hasn't learned from it? Like, it's time to start giving these guys that flamed out, that had high potential years ago, to giving them another chance again. And I think Mike Brown's overwhelming success story is going to change the way front offices look for head coaches in the future, which is good for
Yeah.
basketball.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. But
I have
everybody's not
my
gonna be
moments.
Mike Brown though.
True.
Everybody's not gonna be Mike Brown though. It is gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna turn to like, okay, we seen Mike Brown do it. We seen so, and then they're gonna give some love Mark Jackson. They're gonna give somebody like Mark Jackson a chance. And he's not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, or they're
Yeah.
gonna some of these proven coaches
Mm-hmm.
who have like bad like a I would say a dark cloud hanging over their heads
Yes.
who need to prove themselves. They're gonna go to a
Mm-hmm.
team and then they're not gonna be Mike Brown and then it's gonna be
Yeah.
like back to what it was. So
Yeah.
it's just like just understand this may or may not be a one off, but
Mm-hmm.
don't throw away a coach just because of they had a bad past is what we're
Yeah.
getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the recycling of coaching candidates leads, like, there's like shit at the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
sometimes optics are in the way too. Somebody says something about oh, this coach is Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd
Hmm.
was running Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks team out of the fucking locker room, right? And he gets a stigma, and it takes him a while to get back in the head coaching spot. And now he's doing great in Dallas. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the issue too. Is people trust what they hear. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's great for the NBA. Great.
Speaking of Dallas,
Uh huh.
real quick.
Uh huh.
Dallas is 1-6, and they're out of the play-in right now. In like the last 7 games, they're one and
I already
six.
know where this is going.
We've been talking about will Kyrie resign? Will the Dallas resign Kyrie? Is the big question. Like, will they let him sign? Will they just nah? You don't get this contract.
I think everybody in the media is gonna take the bait. Everybody in the
Yes.
media is gonna take the bait and blame Kyrie. Okay, how about we
Yes.
blame the
It's easy.
fact that they traded away Dorian Finney-Smith? That was the only thing that made them a below average defense, right? They have nobody.
Hmm.
They have nobody that can
Yeah.
defend. It's just like a whole list of nobody. So they're so ridiculously one sided right now, poorly built for winning NBA basketball games that I think Kyrie and Luca have no issue fitting still. And it's just it's a terrible defense. And they need to
Yeah.
score 80 to do anything, right? And
Uh huh.
it's sad for Kyrie because it's just he's gonna get the blame again. He's gonna be the heel, and everybody's gonna be like, "Ah, blah blah blah." Kyrie fucking sucks, but it's not really Kyrie's
Yeah.
fault, in my opinion.
It, it's not. It's not. I agree. That's why I was wanting to ask. I was like, do you think like because I was like, well, Dallas re-signed Kyrie because they could be influenced. A lot of teams are influenced by media. Let's put that out there. A lot of teams are very media influenced. But I feel that Mark Cuban might be different. I don't
That's where
know.
it is. Mark Cuban ain't gonna give a shit. Okay, Mark Cuban's gonna
Yeah.
listen to whoever he trusts with basketball knowledge, and they're gonna make the decision. It's gonna be the right decision. If Kyrie wants to stay, trust me, they will not hesitate to sign the dotted line. Okay,
Yeah.
like there's no place other like people don't understand. As a person that lives in Texas, me,
Mhm.
look, they're gonna let the stars do their personality wise. If they're a Kyrie Irving level player, nobody's gonna give a shit. People really let
Yeah.
people have their own freedoms of speech and own opinions and blah 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 in Texas. Okay, trust me, there's about no zero places in the United States that would be a better fit for the personality and the extracurricularness of Kyrie than Dallas. Okay, because they're gonna
Yeah.
let him do what the fuck he wants to do because they don't care because he commits to winning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they take freedom of speech really seriously here. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say that now.
It's perfect for him to say
Yeah,
whatever he wants to say, and everybody's like,
yeah,
"Well."
yeah. Trust
Yeah.
me, Texas want their freedom. All right.
I'm with it.
All right. You want to transition to something different?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go ahead.
Okay. So all NBA first team. How'd you go for
I get three small forwards,
it?
right? Or
So basically, how it works is there's three forwards and there's two guards.
okay, okay. Ooh, the second. I was thinking about this, and I was like, the second
Actually, I
guard's
think
hard for me.
there's one center, two forwards, two
Yeah,
guards. My bad. My bad.
one oh, but you can put a forward as a two though. I think there's three forwards. I think there's a possibility to make three forwards, right?
No, two forwards, one
I
center,
mean,
two
too small.
guards.
Okay, damn it. I could have sworn that you could have did like because I think there was a year that LeBron, Embiid, and like, but that would still be two forwards though.
Yeah.
Never mind. Um, okay, so I have Curry one.
Yeah.
Give me JB two.
Jalen Brown.
Yeah, because I can't think of any other
I'll throw
two
out some
guard centers
guards.
that.
I'll throw out some guards.
Okay, please do
Luka
because I
Doncic,
can't. I
Dame
can't.
Lillard, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brown, Kai, John Morant, Trey Young, De'Aaron Fox.
Ah,
I
okay.
thought you
Go
were
back, go back,
forgetting
go back,
Luka
go
for a
back.
second there.
Yeah. Because I was like, I can't. My mind was like, look, it's 8:25 in the morning. My mind was like, all I could think of was just one guard.
Yeah,
Okay, but that's because I see like Luca more small forward. But that's
yeah,
that's besides the point. Okay, Curry, Luca. Give me Curry, Luca.
that's a good choice.
Um, I'll take JT
Mm,
as one of my forwards.
okay,
Give me Giannis
okay.
and but then it goes to how do you see Embiid and Jokic? It's like it's ah give me Embiid.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with basically everything you just said. I would have Stefan, Luca, both guards, pretty obvious. I would have
Hmm.
Giannis and Jason Tatum as well. Kevin Durant for me hasn't played enough games, only 44.
Yeah,
And I would take Jokic. I would take Jokic first team center. So who
that's fine.
who would you take second team?
Uh
It's tougher and tougher as you move along, Chris.
I know. Shoot. Shea,
Okay.
JB,
Okay. I could see that.
um, Shea, JB. I need a small forward.
It could be any forward.
Oh, any. Oh, so okay. Trying to see who really impresses me right now.
Mm.
Really jumps out at me. Second team. My brain's like, it's like not working right now.
That's funny.
There's some forwards out. There's some
Throw
forwards out.
some
This
forwards
is
out
like
there.
not clicking.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Well,
not
you
clicking.
chose Giannis and Jason Tatum. Kevin
Yeah,
Durant's
so
only
those two
played
are off.
44 games, but
No,
LeBron's played 50. Uh, Anthony Davis has played 51 games. Laurie Markkinen's played 65. Julius Randle played 77.
Julius
Uh,
Randle.
Pascal Siakam. You choose Julius Randle, second team?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's actually playing really well this year.
Sure, he really is.
He's playing really well this year. I would give him second team.
Okay.
Um, I'm sorry. Go keep going.
Paul George has played 56 games. Kawhi's played 46. 49, my bad. So he might just slip into above 50. Jimmy Butler's played 62. There's Kristaps
Mm.
Porzingis.
Okay. Who did I have for the forward? I'm sorry. I keep forgetting.
Okay, so your first team forwards were Giannis and Jason Tatum.
No, the second one. Who did I have for the second forward? I'm
I
trying
think
to
you
get the whole
said
list out.
LeBron and Julius Randle.
Oh no, I didn't say LeBron.
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't say
Julius
LeBron.
Randle.
Okay, so Julius Randle, and then I wasn't gonna do Paul George and Kawhi until like third team.
Okay.
Um, Damn, I just lost it that quickly. Okay, so my guard is
Yeah, Shea Gilgeous Alexander and
Shea, JB,
JB.
Julius Randle.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I should do LeBron. I don't know. Who had 72 games? That was Julius Randle, right?
Julius Randle played 77.
77.
Yeah, he's played
And
a
he said
lot.
somebody played 62.
62.
Because a player that stood out to me that I completely forgot as soon as you said it.
Laurie Markkinen played 65. AD played 51.
No.
Brandon Ingram played 41. Pascal Siakam played 67. Paul George played 56. Kawhi played 49. Jimmy Butler played 62. Um,
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy
okay,
Butler.
you choose
Jimmy
JB.
Butler.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got the other J. I got both JBs in the second team. I got
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle and I have Shea as
Okay.
my starter, as my starting point guard, and then as my center, I'll throw Jokic.
Okay. 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 So I would mirror you on Shea Gilgeous Alexander, but I would choose Dame as my second guard. My forwards would be Legoat, and I'm gonna take his running mate with him, Anthony Davis. And at center, I'm gonna take Embiid. That'd be my second team.
I didn't want to. I mean, like I could see that, but I was thinking like, I mean, like your small forward, power forward combo was similar to what I was originally thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just thinking that there were. I mean, like they're good. Like don't get me wrong, but there were some players that were playing a little bit better in my opinion,
Yeah, I mean, there's some guys
especially in
that
the
played
early in
more
the season.
games. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's definitely factors into it. Everybody views it differently. For me personally, like 50 is the cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
50 is my cutoff. So they both played
He's
50,
one
and
of the best
they're
players.
both going to play a few more
Yeah.
games too. So for me
Yeah.
personally, that's why. All right, let's see who's your
Okay.
third team. Let's see what you got, Chris.
Um, Dame,
Okay.
Ja,
Okay.
uh, give me Kawhi. And the Kawhi is at 49.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can sneak Kawhi in there and give me
Okay.
LeBron, Kawhi and LeBron,
Okay.
and then my center would be. Where can I get into the forward?
It's got to be a center.
Just three.
Centers left are Kristaps Porzingis, Bam Adebayo, Domantas Sabonis. Those are the main guys.
Demontis Sabonis.
Ooh, a little Domantas Sabonis love. I love to hear it. All right.
Yeah.
My third team would be. Let's see here. I would take Jalen Brown. I would take Mr. Unpopular, but I don't care. Trey Young played 70 games. Does what Trey Young does.
Mm-hmm.
Just not a part of the super team. Forwards for me, I would take Julius Randle here, and I would also take Pascal Siakam. Like Pascal's had a great year. He always defends ridiculously well, averaging 24, 25. That's a really impressive player. And at the center position, man, Kristaps Porzingis has had such a good year. He's averaging 23. He's improved defensively. I really feel like Kristaps Porzingis' improvement this year is really slept on. So I
Mm-hmm.
take KP here. Kristaps Porzingis, my third team center.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I like Demontis Sabonis a bit better, but it's all good.
Okay. Um. So let's go with another one. Most improved player of the year. Now, when the season started, it was like, oh, it's gonna be Laurie Markkinen by like a gazillion miles. But the interesting
Mm-hmm.
talking point is the fact that Shea Jules Alexander went from somebody that was averaging like 22, 23 to like 30 above. So it's like a little bit of a race here between Shea and Laurie Markkinen. So which guy do you think you would give most improved to?
Shay.
Okay, why?
Shay has really came out this year
True.
as a leader of that team. Like he is
Yes.
really like I mean, as many times as he's played like top tier teams, he's always showed up and showed
Yeah.
out. It has led a like less than favorable team against like
Mm-hmm.
marquee talent and has
Yeah.
won. It's like there's levels, and I
Yeah.
think that Shea has jumped several levels, and he's like coming into his all star. This is his all star period now. So I think that he's really. I think it's Shea. I think it's Shea by a mile.
Yeah, I would agree. I think a guy jumping from borderline star to like holy shit superstar. Whew,
Yeah,
it's just Laurie Markkinen would walk away with this award any other year, man. It's so sad that Shea Gilgis Alexander just took this ridiculous jump here. So it's pretty crazy. But I'm pretty happy about it. The fact that Shea Gilgis
yeah,
Alexander would get to appreciate, watch his game, you know what I mean? It's really great to watch. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Okay.
yeah. He's
So
a ridiculous jump. I just hope he doesn't Julius Randle it though.
yeah, that's facts.
Yeah,
All right, you ready to transition to a fun topic?
for sure.
All right, Chris. As basketball addicts, we really watch so much basketball. This could be an interesting conversation. All defense, first and second team. Who are you having for the first team?
Drew Holiday.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a very good choice. Can't go wrong there.
Um. Wow.
It's
Hold on a
tough.
second.
It's tough. You really gotta.
Yes.
You really gotta. Because there's so many good guys right now.
I'm really leaning toward the Celtics duo as a defensive like
Smart and
so
JB. Who?
yeah, JV,
Yeah. Okay.
Mm, there's a lot of good guys. There's too many good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um okay. Jaron Jackson. He got if he's on DPOY, he needs to get the first team.
Okay. He's one of your forwards. Cool.
Well, yeah, he's my second forward because I said JBJT.
Okay.
So yeah, um, Jaron Jackson, and then my center, shot blocker, shot blocker, shot blocker. Who's what's it? It's some guy who's like leading the league in blocks right now,
Just like blocks.
and I can't think of the name right
Is
now.
Miles
And I
Turner?
just like it. Not this year, is it? Hold on, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now.
I'm getting to the stats right now. Jaron Jackson Jr. is leading it. Brooke Lopez is second. Nick Claxton's third.
Okay, so and who's in third?
Claxton.
Claxton. Give me Brooke Lopez at the 5 then.
Okay. Wow. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Uh, my first team. Dear goodness, this is tough. At center, I'm gonna give it to Bam. I feel like every year for the past since we've been doing this podcast, the best defensive center in the NBA is Bam.
Yeah.
Um, Forwards wise, I'm gonna agree with you, Jaron Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm gonna go Giannis as the other forward.
That's
Um,
fair.
and then at the guards, which is so gosh darn tough, I really feel like a guy who's made a quiet jump this year is OG Anunoby. He's really gotten better at jumping past the lanes. Like it's a real skill for him. I think he's
Yeah.
leading the league in steals as well. So I'm gonna take OG Anunoby, and let me think here. Guards that can defend. Pat Bev's got to be in the conversation. Smart's got to be in the conversation. Drew Holiday's got to be in the conversation. Matisse Thybulle's got to be in the conversation. Mikal Bridges
Yeah.
has got to be in the conversation. Uh,
Malcolm Brogdon. Well, he
Brogdon's
probably
not
would be
bad.
second team.
I don't think I would
Second
put him in
pick, third
my
team.
guards though. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Jimmy Butler's always a good defender. Jared
Always.
Vanderbilt's having a hell of a year defensively.
Yes, he is.
Uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go Drew Holiday, other guard. I'm gonna have Marcus Smart second
Okay.
team. Sorry, Marcus Smart.
I want to. I want to change my my one of my forwards to Giannis.
Okay,
Think about that one.
okay,
I think that's
that's
a good.
cool.
So it's gonna mirror a little bit.
All right. So who's your second
Um.
team? This is where it gets
Okay.
tough.
Yes, it is.
It's really it's a
Tag it. Okay. Hold
it's a
on.
fun
Hold on.
conversation for basketball addicts. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
real ones. This is a fun conversation. Herb Jones is a good defender.
Yeah. I'm thinking across the league defending centers right now because I want to start with a big man first because I want to give JB some love. Jimmy Butler, meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. Okay, so I don't have them in a complete order right now because they're
Okay.
kind of jumbled in my head. So I have JB, and I'll throw Bam in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bam can be my center. Duh. Okay, Bam, JB, Jimmy Butler, meaning Jimmy Butler. Um, this is where it gets hard.
That's fun.
Bam, JB.
Don't forget about Draymond.
Okay, Dre definitely has to go in there. Okay, so that's a good pick. Okay, so Bam, JB, Draymond, and then my guard would be Marcus Smart. That would be one of my guards, and then
Okay.
my second guard would be.
So many. It's tough.
I'm going for the funny one, right?
Okay. Oh
Give
no.
me DB.
Devin Booker?
No,
Oh.
Dylan Brooks.
Oh. That's hilarious.
That's just a troll one. That's a troll one. That's a troll one. That's a troll one.
Okay.
That's a troll one. It's not real. It's a troll one.
Okay.
What if Dylan Brooks would have been my second team? all credibility lost. Um, okay, wait. So my shooting, oh my guard, just period guard, good defending guard. Kel Bridges is nice. Um, damn, it's a lot of good ones. Guard. I don't want to do Mikael Bridges. I think he's kind of young, so I would do him third team if I did him at all.
Oh, there's no third team.
Oh, there's no third team.
Mm-mm.
This was just first and second. Okay, give me
Yes.
Mikael Bridges as the guard here and then.
Okay. All right. So my center is where it gets tough for me because I'm not a
Oh,
big. Go ahead. What?
wait. I'm sorry. Switch that around. Matisse Thybulle is my other guard. There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, he's pretty special with his off-ball blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously Marcus Smart's a lock to be my guard, and Draymond Green is going to be a lock to be one of my forwards.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about centers. I not a big believer in Rudy Gobert. Not a big believer in
No.
Brook Lopez. So for me personally, I really wish I could give this to AD, and I feel like the conversation is Evan Mobley, Embiid, and Claxton, because people forget how ridiculously good Claxton was looking defensively for the Brooklyn Nets when they
Mm-hmm.
were a premier team. You know what I mean? Embiid, Embiid, kind of like he doesn't play with force defensively like I would hope. Um, Kind of defends like Marcus Gasol in my opinion, which isn't a terrible thing. It's just high basketball IQ
Yeah.
defense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This would be a slide. This would be Anthony Davis by a gazillion miles, but he just didn't play a ton of games. Evan Mobley so versatile, but like the basketball intelligence isn't like 100% there yet. So I'm gonna give it to Nick Claxton. I feel like Nick Claxton's
Mm-hmm.
versatility, ability to defend the rim all year, really highly improved. I think he's earned the spot at my center position. So now I have Marcus Smart, Draymond Green, and Claxton. So I need a forward and a guard. And at forward, I think Kawhi's lost a step defensively. So
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna go with Mikal Bridges here. Mikal Bridges has been a
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal forward defender for a very long time. And at my guard defender, which is just ridiculously stacked, um, oh my goodness, so many dudes, so many dudes that get it defensively guards. Hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and go with. I'm gonna agree with you and go Tease. I'm gonna go Matisse
Okay.
Thybulle too. I mean, it's just he's pretty freaky off ball defensively,
Yeah.
like when shot blocking, all that type of stuff. So, I'd go Tease too. Tease is pretty freaky. So yeah,
That's a nice pick. That's a nice list.
that was fun. There are so many good defenders in the league. We could literally do like 5 of those. It'd be easy.
Yeah.
The only positions that's not extremely stacked defensively is center. Like it's just
Yeah.
pretty okay. So
Yeah.
there's
Someone
just so
probably
many
be like,
guys
oh
that can
wow.
defend at a high level right now, especially at the guards and
Mm-hmm.
the forwards. Switchable guys. I mean, the Toronto Raptors have 3 people: Scotty, OG, Pascal, right? Like
Yeah.
Scotty
Yeah.
Barnes. Dear goodness, he has ridiculously high upside defensively. Dude's freaky. He's so
Yeah.
so goddamn strong. And you know what's sad about this whole list?
What?
Ben Simmons was my DPOY preseason, and he didn't even make this
Yeah.
list. That's what happened when you
That's what
don't
he had.
work. I mean, that dude's
And the
freaky
injury, he got like the
defensively.
nerve pain in his
6'10".
back. He's
Yeah.
so
Yeah. It's a
I'm
disappointment.
giving him the benefit
That's
of
what
the
that
doubt.
is.
Yeah.
DISSI appointment. That's how you spell disappointment, people. Oh my goodness. All right. Is there any awards that you want to talk about? Is there like rookie of the year, first team, second team, or um Anything like that, or do you want to cut it here?
Because I think we already talked about rookie of the year. We talked about the DPOYs, the first team all defense, second team all defense, first, second, and third team all NBA.
Yeah.
This is a good place to cut it. This
Yeah,
is a good way
I
to
agree.
end it. End it and go on. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in consistently. I
Yes.
hope you enjoyed our list. What are some of your lists? Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? We want to hear those things in the comments. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm somewhat of a masochist. I like reading the comments, so I enjoy that. So if you want us to read your comments, go ahead and comment. We're on TikTok. We
Yeah.
even have a YouTube as well. You can go ahead and subscribe to any of those and follow us as well. You got anything you want to say, Jason, before we close it out?
Yeah, you guys are definitely going to want to check in when these regular season ends and these playoff standings start to get confirmed. You're going to want to hear our playoff breakdowns. It's going to be the best. We do the best every year. Little snippet here again 2 years ago before the Lynn Hawks and the Philadelphia 76ers played. I chose the Lynn Hawks and I did it on the podcast so you could quote me, and Chris on the podcast said that if the Phoenix Suns beat the Los Angeles Lakers, they would make it to the NBA Finals, and they did that year. So you guys, like, tell you, we spit some heat when it comes out to these playoff matchups, and we rarely miss.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to want it. It's a must tune in. Be more right than your friends. Listen to our podcast.
There you go. That's what it is. You heard it here first. All right, guys. So, Chris Vaughn.
I'm Jason Collins.
And we are the best buddies. Peace.
Ouch.